Hi, welcome to another Beal Talk. This time we're going to talk about finance, investment, as a matter of fact, and we're going to be zeroing on the stock market, equity investment. So what I'm trying to do here is just to stimulate you to start thinking about investment and how that can profit you. I am not talking to you as a licensed financial advisor, just an ordinary Joe. So I mean, I'm going to tell the government, say, when you hear from Paul Beal, just take what me I say and just go to the right people and do your thing. Now, the stock market, what is it? It is not so much that it is a place like where you sell yam, you can just go there. No, it's actually an institution that is set up where companies can actually sell their shares. Now, these are companies that are traded publicly. When I say traded publicly, I'm talking about companies that have their shares on the stock market so people can actually buy ownership into that company. So you're talking about a company like Palace Amusement, Grace Kennedy, Berger, Lasco, and all these companies that you hear about in the stock market every day. These are companies that you can actually buy their shares. Now, when you buy shares, we're talking about ordinary shares. The ordinary shares is what gives you ownership into a company. And once you're an owner in a company, it means that you're entitled to get part of the profit. Now, this part of the profit that the ordinary shareholder gets is what is called the dividends. Now, some companies give you dividends half yearly or annually. And when you get the dividends, this is a share of the profit that the company makes for the previous period. You know what I mean? The directors sit down and they say, we have made a profit of, say, 2 billion, or 19 billion as in the case of NCB, which is also a public traded company. We are going to give a certain amount of this to our shareholders. So each shareholder will get the same amount. Now let me explain this to you in a mathematical term, but it's not complex, so don't get too frightened now. It's easy. Let's say you buy shares like 1,000 shares, and you bought those shares for $30 each. Now, at the end of a period, the company decides to give a certain amount of profit to the shareholders. Your 1,000 shares will determine how much of the profit you get, because the amount of money that they give for dividends will then be divided by the number of shares there are in that company, and that will tell you how much each share is worth in terms of dividend. You multiply that figure by your 1,000 shares, and then it tells you how much money you're going to get. It's pretty easy. So if you're getting, say, 20 cents per share, you multiply 20 cents, which is zero point 0.2 times 1,000, and that tells you the amount of money you're going to get for your shares. So that's one way in which you can make a lot of money, because the more shares you buy is the more dividends you get, like the accumulative dividends. And so, if you have 1,000 shares today, next month you buy another 1,000, you have 2,000. The following month you buy another 1,000, you have 3,000. And so you can increase your share holdings over time. And that's how you make money on the stock market, by buying more and more shares in companies that are profitable. And then you get the dividends when the dividends are declared. But there's another way that a shareholder can make some money, and that is by capital growth, wherein the shares you buy today, if you buy them for, say, $30 each, a year, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, the value or the price of the shares could go up, could move from $30 to, say, 50 to 60. And in that case, if you sell the shares 3 years from now, when it moves from $30 to $60, you're going to double the value of your shares. So two ways. Over the 3-year period, you would have collected dividends from the profits that the company makes over that 3-year period. And at the end of the 3-year period, if you want to sell your shares, you also make a capital gain. You'll also make another profit from selling shares at a higher price than you paid for it. That's how the man they make the money. Some people, all they do is buy shares, sell shares, or collect the dividends from shares, the ownership in the company. And that's all they do. And it's a good little investment for people who, like me, are getting old. And you retire, but you want to make money. So you invest your money in these companies. You have to be very careful doing that. You have to know which company you're going to invest in. And that's where your licensed financial advisor will bring you. They will tell you, they will give you greater details in terms of how you analyze these things and know which company to buy. Earlier I talked about the IPO, which is basically the initial public offering. That is the first time that a company is going to offer shares to the public. That's why they say initial public offering. The price that they come out with is the first price. Now from there, the price could either go north, which is going up, or south. Facebook, when they came out, I can't remember what they came out at, probably about $30-something. And then the price went up, big time. The other day the price went down. So that's how stocks go out there. So how do you do that? You find a stockbroker, you tell them what shares you want to buy, they tell you the price, you give them the money, and they will buy the shares. They take a little percentage because they're a broker. And when I talk about broker, some percentage always come in. The term broker means somebody that do it on your behalf. They're an agency, and that's a legal term, but don't worry about that. And you will hold these shares. You know how much shares you have because you will always have your share certificate. And whenever you get your share certificate, keep it safe, because that's what's going to legitimize or verify the ownership of the shares that you have. Now let me give you a little story here. If a company comes out, for instance, like when Lasso came out and sold shares, or Honeybun, and they sell shares, and if you, theoretically speaking, can buy enough of the shares so that you get more than 50% of it, or even 50% of it in some cases, you could now have controlling interest in that company. It means that you could sit on the board of that company, and nobody will have to appoint you per se. But by virtue of you having a large chunk of the shares, which means a large ownership in that company, you know, sitting on the board.
Personally, I think this is just a plot to hijack my company or this company that my father has built.
It is not. Your business is dead.
You're big. You start to make decisions concerning the company, where the company invests and all these little things. And that's where you want to go. Because in this country, that is what is lacking. Not many of the ordinary man understand that you can do this to gain wealth. Yeah. So this is something that you have to understand. Buy your shares in the company, and you can make your money by way of dividends being paid periodically, or by way of selling back those shares at a higher price. And when you sell back those shares at a higher price, it's like buying 2 tins of sardine at a particular price and sell it back to somebody for a higher price, which is what wholesalers do. And the next thing I want to tell you that you can buy shares in more than one company. You don't have to just buy one company. You can buy shares in different companies. Any company that's on the stock market that has their shares available for sale, you can buy them. But remember this, there are rules in playing the stock market, and it requires a certain amount of expertise and knowledge of finance and the equities market before you can skillfully do it, before you can successfully do it. So, as an ordinary man and you don't have a degree in finance and economics, then I suggest you go to a licensed financial advisor to get all of this done. So that is it from me. I am Paul O'Beal, and that is investment for the ordinary man. See you next time. Continue to watch my videos and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
Any computer issues and you want an expert video with it? Trade Lab Shop 26 Clock Tower Plaza.
For personal and business loans and for business consultancy, call Paradigm Capital.